It is not just what we call motorcycle taxi or MC things. We have delivery riders,
Yeah.
right? We have messengers. We have agents or motorcycle service providers from fleet operators. The range is very, very big. And I think with enough, focus on this sector, we can really, really empower them. And that's why we're here.
Good afternoon.
This sector really has the ability to cut through, so many things, right? Because, when you're in the private sector, you're like an executive, you're like in the executive side of government wherein what you say happens, as a CEO. But also, what I'm trying to build here is not a company, right? I can take care of the Angkas bikers. I can focus on the Angkas bikers. I can expand the benefits for the Angkas bikers. But what about everyone else? This requires legislation. This requires a paradigm shift in the way we think and view informal workers. Informal workers are labeled as such. You might as well label them as illegitimate. Because they don't have the ability to be able to be given legitimate benefits or benefits legitimately. It's very difficult. Even with voluntary contributions, the framework is still highly focused on the framework for traditional employment. Right? So I can stay in Angkas, yes. I can be the CEO of Angkas. I can expand the Angkas business. I can help Angkas bikers. But what about everyone else? And this is why we need this legislated. This is why we need national laws to change the paradigm, to shift the focus, and to champion the rights of informal workers. Because I see Philippines in the near future where there is no such thing as an illegitimate worker. Lahat ng manggagawa, formal man or informal, should be part of the formal economy, should be recognized by the national government, should be afforded the rights just like everyone else, regardless of his conditions, circumstances, or even classification that he is not part of the traditional confines of what we believe to be formal employment. So leave no man behind. Kaya po ako tumatakbo.
You have to shake the...
Sorry?
You have to shake the system.
Not shake the system. I think the system we have the ability to formalize the system because we've created it. Right? I've been doing this for 8 years, guys. I have the proof that it works. Right? Angkas, my company, it works. And now it's expanded to other companies. It works. It can happen alongside government. Right? We've come for a circle. We've had our own relationship with the government. Love, hate, now we're all about love. Right? We're all about collaboration, especially after the pandemic. So we've proven that with collaboration with the private sector and the government, it can happen. But I can't just focus. For me, it's a travesty if I just keep focusing on my Angkas bikers. I love them to bits, but I think this opportunity is far too important to just be just to be confined and just to be within that constituency. We need to expand this to everyone else. And there's 17 million Filipino workers right now that is in dire need of this type of attention, this type of system, and this type of focus.
Good afternoon, Rowena from DYRF.
Most CEOs, yung KPI nila, growth, sales. Ang KPI ko po is how many people have better lives. Nakita ko po I always tell this to my employees, and this is what drives all my employees every single day to work very, very hard. What we do here will outlast each and every one of us. What we do here, long after we leave Angkas and do our own thing, you will see bikers on the street, making a living, taking care of their family, changing the course of generations to come. I have a pact with every single Angkas biker. You know what my pact is? your kids cannot be a kasbiker. Why? Because they have a different life now. They're living under different circumstances. Now, they have schooling. Now, you can support them all the way through college. They will be engineers, they will be lawyers, they'll be their own type of entrepreneurs. We break that cycle. And to me, that is the most fulfilling KPI.
Sir, what's your plan? Kasi hanggang ngayon wala pa talagang laws para sa mga drivers ng mga motorcycles.
That's my plan.
Anything for this?
Yeah, I mean, we have to institutionalize the system. Right? It's working. It's working in every place that we've implemented it. And now we need laws to back it up so there's permanency. Being permanent is the most important. We cannot just leave this to chance. It's too important. And we need to expand the scope beyond just motorcycle taxis. Delivery riders also, right? They also have their own set of issues. They also have their own set of challenges. They also have their own set of focus and attention that requires proper regulation, requires a good framework, requires somebody to really have a deep understanding of what they need. And this is my wheelhouse. This is my people. My people that use the motorcycle every single day, not just to ride to work, but to make a living, to make a profession and a career out of it. And they're proud of it. Diba? Anong tawag sa mga kasbiker dito sa Cebu? Sir. Sa kanila, sir, lakas, asakas, ang ganda niyan. And it really changed their lives. You know, 40% of people that joined ang CAS were unemployed before. But now they're pillars of the community. They do charity work themselves. Wala kami kinalaman doon, ha? Sila gumagawa yun. Because now they feel that they want to give back to the community. And it is really a testament to their hard work on why they're able to uplift themselves. It is them. It is the bikers. It is their hard work every single day. Ang serbisyo nila sa mga pasahero ang napaka-importante. Sineservisyo nila ang taong bayan. At ngayon, binibigyan sila ng kapalit na ginhawa. Well-deserved ginhawa because of their hard work. So, championing the bikers is the ultimate honor that I have. And I am one of those few people that really am blessed with finding my mission so early on. And championing these bikers, I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't dream of doing any other thing in my life for the rest of my life.
And in relation to,
Yeah.
to the question of Rubana, would you say you're
That frustrations is a daily thing. You know, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And I know that I have the grit and the resilience. I've proven this 8 years, 3 shutdowns, 2 years of pandemic, right? 5 years of brutal, climb, ascent to the summit, right? To be able to make this and create the system right. Frustration is part of it. It's what we all experience every single day. But I know these bikers well. I know them. I have deep understanding of their issues. And this is why I want to be the one to do it. Because I know I can do it with hypercare. I can do it and really be a champion to their needs, to what they need. And also create that voice, create that community na hindi lang nanggagaling sa isang side. I talk to my bikers regularly, every single month. I sit down and speak with them. And the solutions come from them. It doesn't come from me. Kasi kanino pa naman magagaling yung solusyon? Hindi doon sa may problema. Diba? Kaysa hulaan natin yung solusyon. Kaysa mag-grandstand tayo kung anong tingin natin na tamang solusyon para sa kanila. Sila, they're the ones that drive this. And they're the reason why I'm here. Why? We've always wanted to be regulated. For whatever means. Just as long as it's regulated, it's monitored, and people can see the effects. And then both sides can be protected. The riding public, as well as those serving the riding public, which are the bikers. So, legislation is good. But we have to look beyond the headline of legislation. We have to read that legislation. Alam mo, this is already the 3rd Congress that this legislation has evolved. From a simple amendment to a standalone law. These provisions have to be thoroughly looked at, right? There are provisions there for maximum penalty. I don't agree with that. Nakalagay doon, pag ang motorcycle taxi driver ka, right, and then you get an infraction, automatically you have maximum penalty. Why? You're well trained. You're doing this for a living. And yet, we'll penalize you the most. Right? Is that correct? That's not correct. There's provisions. What about delivery riders? Why do you put delivery riders and people carrying passengers in one bill? There should be a delivery rider Magna Carta, as should be a tricycle Magna Carta. You should have these separately because they operate under different conditions. This is what I mean about a deep understanding of the situation. We cannot be cursory about this. We cannot just have, this headline that we're passing a law. What kind of law are you passing? Is it good? Majority of what's in the law is very good. There is regulation, there is safety. But you have to look at it from a holistic standpoint. It is not just about safety, it's also about having a sustainable livelihood. And getting maximum penalty on every apprehension automatically is not a sustainable livelihood.
Sir,